YouTube? I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter every single day at 2 p.m. and give you my honest thoughts on how it's being ran. During the weekdays, we do a live stream, so if you enjoy the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below as I'm trying to reach 9,000 subscribers, celebrate my 9-year anniversary of making YouTube board game content. And today I'm very excited to be checking out a solo game called Keep Up the Fire, The Boxer Rebellion. So this is pretty far down when you're searching for it, which means there's not as much engagement and people coming back to the Kickstarter, but it's already funded. It's raised $29,000, and it's achieved 1,500% of its goal, so I'm assuming it had a very low goal. So a refresh deluxe version of Keep Up the Fire, the solitaire game by John Welk. Now, the first thing I want to mention here is I'm really glad they mentioned that it's a solitaire, a solo game right here. That's spectacular. And normally I like to see a price or something on here, but right here I think this looks really good. I do like the table appeal. It looks like an interesting thing, and I want to click on it. So as always, when I get into these, I'm trying to think of three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? And how much is it? Plays in 45 minutes. Okay. So let's check this video out, see what we got going on. Oh no. Keep Up the Fire is a solitaire game set in 1900 Peking, China, during the Boxer Rebellion. You're in command of the Foreign Legions in the areas assigned to Imperial powers. Okay, so this is a way... Oh, I want to see that a little bit more. Okay, so this is exciting. This looks good. I do like actually showcasing what the board is going to look like, what your area is going to look like. This looks very cool. Like, this intrigues me and grabs me. Now, I wish this was just read out loud. Like, you could get a Fiverr, just a Fiverr voice actor to read this out loud, and I think it would go maybe a little bit... I think it would just look a smidge bit better. But man, this is great. I want to play that game. Outnumbered, outgunned, and besieged within a small compound in the heart of Peking, you must keep the Chinese forces out. An anti-imperialist revolution is sweeping China, and your presence has become the focal point of the Chinese boxers and Imperial Manchu forces of the Qing Army, and determined to expel... With a limited time and relentless attacks on the compound, will you manage to keep up the fire? See, this is great. This is awesome, and I was wondering how it was a war game, but also how it was a solo game. But, you know, it's just an example of history. We got to keep this fire going. We got to keep this fire going so they can't push us. And that's great. I think this video could be so much better with a human voice. Just because what you have here, I love this artwork. Like, this artwork right here just gets me hyped. The shots of the board, the theme is coming across well. I feel like... you're doing a great job here. It's just, I'm missing that personal touch. You also command the 8-nation relief column, battling their way from the port of Taku inland through hostile territory, trying to break the siege of Peking. I did it. But what is this? Oh, okay. Cool, so this is like something that's going to be helping you out a little bit, and I love this. Like, this looks like a fun board. The game is a race against time as the Chinese forces besieging the Legation Compound are attacking relentlessly while the relief column battles its way to the rescue. I love it. Love it. They just got to stay alive. The multinational relief column you lead is comprised of soldiers from 8 different countries. Okay. Okay. Relief column cards. Yeah, this is great. This is good. I don't know if the videos... I feel like all of this just intertwined. Like, if you just pay somebody to read every single word that you wrote down there, or do it yourself, and then have these kind of, you know, just going through and being at the right time where you're talking about it, I think would just be a banger. Because you got some good stuff here. Also, it would probably shorten the length of the video as well, which is, you know, it is what it is. It's a good thing normally. But I like the cards. There's lots of information on the cards. We got the historical facts down here at the bottom, which I personally eat up as a history buff. I see why this is 1,500% fun and why you wanted to redo a deluxe version of it. I definitely do. Legation cards. That's cool. Now available. Oh, I do like that. I like that. A very good deal showing me the box. Because when I looked this up on Board Game Geek, this actually used to come in a bag. It used to come in one of these bags that they used to have. I think Victory Point Games might have done it. Maybe some other companies used to do it. They used to have war games in there. I played a cute little deck building game. Cute. It was a fun little deck building game in there. All right. So as always, there's the 3 questions. Do I want it? Can you do it? And how much is it? So the first thing, do I want it? Yeah, I think you did a good enough job with the video. I really did. I think it could be a better video, but I think overall it's still a good video. It gets me really intrigued and interested in the game and saying, wow, I want to play this. You know, especially if you're a solo gamer. Because this feels like a war game, but at the same time, you know, it doesn't give off just stone cold war vibes. Like, there's some war games where it's like, oh, that's totally a war game, and me, as not being a war gamer generally, am probably not going to play that game. This one I feel like is straddling the line, and I feel like they're doing a good job. And honestly, so do I want it? Yes. Can you do it? All right, I like it. 9 created, 4 backed. Is the Grog Ward wing of Worthington Publishing. Awesome. Oh no, I hope there's a collaborator on this project, but I don't see one. Which normally, okay, yeah, so I feel very comfortable now. I feel extremely comfortable. 212, 250, 230, 281. So you have a very consistent audience up until this point. 277, 431, and now, is this our big one? Is this where we're breaking in? No, it's 365, but that's not bad. And so maybe with a couple tweaks here and there, I think we could kind of lure people in, especially in particular with this game. Because let's go back and look at some of those other projects and see if they look like war games. You know, like games that's like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole as not being, oh, it's right here. So let's check out this one. Soviet Dawn Deluxe Edition. So a solitaire game. Oh, so this is another solitaire game. Okay. Let's see, Battle of the Bulge. But 1944, Battle of the Bulge. I imagine I'm going to come in here and I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so out of my area. Yep, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this was like, oh, nope, next one for me, sir. But I think with a game like this, where that board looks like a board game board, I think you could get more people, and I think having a better video might be something that could just draw on more people. This could be a big one. Keep Up with the Followers, a solitaire game set in 1900 Peking, China. You were in command of the Foreign Legations ambassadors, their families, staff, and small security forces in the areas assigned to Imperial powers and relief column. Cool. Excellent. You're showing me the same stuff you showed me in the video. I wish you'd get to the price, though. Quite honestly, just slap me with the price real quick first here. Because I know some people are going to go straight from the video but down to here, but there's a lot of people. There is a lot of people, and I have polls on my YouTube channel, and people have said a lot of people go from the video down to here. And it's like, so hit me at some point with the price. This is your story. It should be seamlessly interweaved in here. Hopefully we get to that next. Beautiful box with sleeve, rule book, large mounted tray, sleeve for box with alternative cover. You know, it'd be great. Pictures of this. I would love to see a picture of this all displayed out. And if that is something you have, I hope it's not further down. Like, this is a lot of the stuff from the game, but I'd still just like to see just a generic picture of, boom, this is all that's going to be in the box. All right. What do we got? Map details. Yeah, this is all... Oh, whoa. Cool. Very cool. Man, I do love that. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed that that's just not the box, almost a little bit. But yeah, this is good, but I'd rather have pictures of like all the stuff in the game. Oh, so the rules? What do we got in the rules? I'm going to guess 24 pages. That's a good guess. Let's see. Oh no, it's written like a war game rule book. Oh, it makes me want to cry. Just because you're a war game doesn't mean the rule book has to look like a giant vomited up mountain of text. Ugh, ickies, and immediately, I don't want to play this game anymore. Just looking up that rule, and maybe if this is an early version of the rules, and it's going to look good, and it's going to have pictures and illustrations, examples, which is what the front of this would lead me to, say, hey, this is a very early version of the rules. We are going to add tons of graphics and pictures and things to make it user-friendly. Because right now, me as a consumer, I read that, and I'm like, nope. No, thank you! Note this game can also be enjoyed in team, working together, just as the nations had to, deciding how best to defend the... so this is just if you're playing with someone else and you can talk it out. Which is cool. I do like games like that. Below are the reviews of the original Victory Point Games version. Our version is being upgraded to a deluxe version with all mounted boards, thick counters, box, tray, etc. And I do like that. I like that a good deal. And this is what I say on second editions. And I see so many second editions that do this. We don't want to see previews of that. You know, good. Give me one. You know, we might want to see some previews. What I'm saying is, I want to make sure the game, the fundamental game, was good enough that it really deserves to be reprinted. Because I've seen some Kickstarters and second editions, and I'm like, really? Was there that much of a calling for a second edition? Okay, and good. We have some quotes. Excellent. A fantastic solitaire game, very accurate according to the historical and military situation. You have a lot of decisions to make, not just to keep the Boxers and Qing out of legislation, but this is great. This is a great quote. Very meaty quote. 838 forever. Okay. 10 out of 10, the ultimate in war game design and solitaire play. I have never played a better game. Wow. That's great. My favorite SOS game was part of the playtest team. Yeah. I don't know what SOS is. What is SOS? If I'm coming at this from a consumer, I don't know what SOS is. And also I see part of the playtest team. Okay. I don't know. 7 out of 5 out of 10. Nice historical flavor, easy to get into and play. Plenty of tension as you try to prevent the Chinese from taking the legislation area before the reform. My first play was a Pyrrhic victory. I don't like this quote. It's too much into the weeds, and it's a 7.5 out of 10. Like, that's like, oh, it's pretty good. I don't want to see pretty good. Why would I want to see, like, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10? Like, those are great. 8 out of 10. 8 is great. 7.5, I might scrap this quote. I don't think it's a particularly good quote anyway. Because I do like to rank quotes. One of the best State of Sieges, very enjoyable historical learning experience, very nail-biting, reminds me much of the movie and the Osprey book I am currently reading. Oh, that's great. See, so now I want to know what the movie is. Like, that's a banger of a quote. Awesome. Get me more engaged in the time period, because with war games, it's all about the history. Great gameplay, very tense and difficult to beat. The game has two fronts. The battle of the compound and the advance of the release com. The fight to survive in the compound is the more involved and interesting point. See, but this is too much on these quotes. The player's skill level, not luck, dominates. Okay, so that is a good thing to mention, but that's a bit lengthy. Packages. What is this? I mean, is this the pledge levels? Keep up the fire, plus in magnificent style. Is this an expansion? What is this? Oh, these are your other games. These are your other games. Don't just assume I know this. Once again, I understand that a lot of people are going to say, hey, it's a war game. They did the same thing with 18xx games. They got their niche. They're trying to appeal to their niche. I'm saying, why not, on your Kickstarter, see if you can widen the niche? And the best way for you to widen the niche is to just appeal to more people while still appealing to your fan base. And from what I see here, you're definitely still appealing to your fan base, but why not try to make it a little bit more user-friendly? I don't know anything about in magnificent style. Why would I want this? Why would I want this? Why don't I want all three? Tell me something about them. I still don't know the price. Cool, here's the packages. What are the prices of the packages? Hey, sir, would you like to have this for dinner, or this for dinner? Well, how much do they cost? Well, we don't tell you that here. You have to go to the other side to find out that. You'll find out when you go to the checkout. That literally is it. You'll find out when you go to the checkout. No, don't make me find out by going over here. You're going to make me do it. Fine, we'll do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I have faith that you're going to... No, you don't. You're not going to tell me. So we don't have a thank you level. I always like a thank you level. I think it's a great pledge level to have. We don't have it. So it's $59, straight to business. Give me the game. 2 copies. Get me the game. We got 9 of those. That's fine. So then we have Get Me the Game plus a different game and 12. I feel like this could be very easily done in the add-ons section. I don't know why I do it here. Just makes it a little bit more clunky, I think. 115. Solitaire 3-pack. Get all 3. Oh, that's a cool one. I do like that. 6 copies. Keep Up the Fire Deluxe. Launch day exclusive price. Okay, cool. Yeah, an early bird. It drove a lot of people. Yeah, so what have we had since there? That's my question. Okay. So let's keep going. So at $59, yeah, it's a game. I mean, it comes in a box, so I don't know. I don't have a feel for it because you haven't shown me the components. That's why I want to see the components here. Shipping. Normally I like to see the shipping with the price, but since you don't actually have the price over here, I guess I can't complain about that. In our effort to offer worldwide friendly shipping, we have reduced worldwide shipping prices just barely above domestic shipping in the U.S. We are setting worldwide shipping prices for this campaign at $12. Wow. We are setting worldwide... Is that for... Oh, for United States. Okay. And I guess that's a good price. I don't get a feel for the box. You showed me the box, which is nice, but if you don't have the exact measurements or you don't have the box next to something, it's just hard to compartmentalize how big the box is. And if that's a good price for shipping. And you want your customers to be like, oh yeah, that seems like a legit price for shipping. So I saw another one do this a couple weeks ago. if you can, get like the actual dimensions of it, or put it next to other games that are the same size, or just get games of the same size and put it next to it, and then I will have an idea. Oh, is this a Pandemic size box? Is this a Lost Ruins of Arnak size box? I don't know. Like, if this is a Lost Ruins of Arnak size box, I'm like, okay, I have no issues with that shipping. Just make it more shoppable for me. Read Sean Cook's Art of the Game by clicking here. What? What is this? Oh, this is him talking about writing up Art of the Game. Cool. That's really neat. You know what I do about this? I would not have it here. I would have that as an update. I would honestly just scrap this entirely, and your next update being, hey, read Sean Cook's Art of the Game where he talks about it. Maybe he does a live stream or something talking about it. I don't even know. Because that's the other thing I saw. I remember at the beginning, this was pretty low. We had to go to like 20, 30, 40 games down to find your game. How many people aren't getting that far? So $12 for a single shop copy. That's reasonable. $20. That's reasonable. And just $25 worldwide shipping. Wow. I feel like that's a dang good price. And quite honestly, while I did say I felt like your front image was good, if you have something that's going to appeal to so many people, and that's $25 worldwide shipping, that's half the world. Because half the people who use Kickstarter are from the United States of America, based on the most recent statistics that I've seen. And then the other half is the rest of the world, which I think is like UK first, and Canada, and Europe, and stuff like that. But still, I'm just saying, if you have a good price for international shipping, which you do at $25, I would mention that in the beginning. I really, really would. You mentioned, honestly, let's go back up. I do. I want to really dig into the weeds, because, well, we'll dig to that. So we'll get to that after we get through the rest of the story. John Welch, cool. Classroom teacher since 1987. History buff. I love it. I love this. Give it that more personal touch. John, this is your game. Just say, hey, John, you mind shooting a short little audio recording for us, talking about the game? Or you can get anybody on Fiverr. I think it would drag people more into it, I think. Risk of challenges. It's completed over 45 Kickstarter campaigns. Wow. Wowzers. I would mention this way earlier. You know, honestly, well, you know, I think you're fine. I think you're fine right there, because I do think people see that you have created 9 projects, and they're like, okay, I feel comfortable with that. Oh, another thing. If you want to be cheeky, easy way to do it. You got 4 backed, make it 24 backed. Go back 20 things for $1, and all of a sudden you look more like a member of the Kickstarter community and less like someone who's really just here for handouts. Handouts. That sounds so bad, but you know what I mean. But yeah, let's. I do want to go back just a smidge, and I want to look at the beginning picture of this. Keep up the fire. Oh, you're gonna make me go. Oh, good. It's right there. So yeah, I think you have a really good image here, but quite honestly, you're not driving people back to the project. And I think one thing that might make them, because the way I say it is, when you're scrolling like this through games, it's kind of like you're at the shopping mall, right? You're at the shopping mall, and you're deciding which ones do I want to click on. And so the more information you have out here to get people to click on it, the better. Now, I love the fact that you've mentioned it's a solitaire game here. But I would say $25 worldwide shipping. Like, advertise the fact that you specifically are going to appeal to half the world. I think that just makes sense to me. You know, maybe you don't want to advertise the price. That's fine, but I would advertise the shipping, as odd as that is. FAQ, nothing. No one has any questions about anything. Well, there's only 20 comments, so that's because they're not being engaged. So let's check this out. The updates. So this was created February 13th. Oh, it's only been up 2 days. So that's fine. That's reasonable. I thought this had been... So this is a quicker Kickstarter. It looks like it's a 2-week Kickstarter. All right, that's fine. But you right now have the beginning of a potentially really big Kickstarter, because I don't think, aside from that rule book, man, that rule book, oh, that is a rough one. I feel like this is the kind of game that could potentially trick solo gamers into dipping their toes into the war game category. Because everything I saw here, I said, you know what? I can figure that out. That looks like fun, except for that rule book. That rule book makes me want to puke. The war game rule books, a lot of the time, are just... they make them look bad. All right, let's check out the update. Thank you. Printing goal reached in 10 minutes. That's awesome. So what was the funding goal? 1,900. Okay. We have to say thank you. What? 1,900 for this box? That reeks of pre-order. I don't care one way or the other, but I hate when I see wonky looking numbers like that. Wonky looking numbers are wonky. $1,900, really? That's how much you needed to make these boxes? Or maybe I don't know. I don't know, because now that I think about it, war games do some interesting systems. Like they have the one where it's like you essentially just people sign up to pre-order, and then eventually when they get to like 300 pre-orders, it like just automatically does it. So the first thing, wow, this is a very lackluster update. You know how I can tell that is because you have 300 backers and 3 hearts, 0 comments. You are not engaging your people, and that is how you're going to keep them interested. If you haven't checked it out, check out my right in the descriptions. There's 3 links that I wholeheartedly recommend you check out if you're launching a Kickstarter. Must check outs. They talk about how you can get featured as a favorite game, how you can get up higher on the algorithms, and I don't get anything from you clicking those videos. They're not from the links down there. They're not my links or anything. They're just 3 links that I think you absolutely should read as a Kickstarter creator. We have to say thank you for all our supporters and backers on this project. It's always a risk putting games on Kickstarter for a small company. No, it's not. That's quite the contrary. Kickstarter takes away the risk. So I don't know why you put that there. We spent the money and time in creating the project in the hopes that the game gets the support to be printed. What? It's a 10th anniversary edition. What are you talking about? This update makes 0 sense to me at all. It's always a risk putting games on Kickstarter for a small company. I would disagree with that. I would say it's a much larger risk to just print the game and then hope that it gets purchased. We spend the money and time, the biggest investment, in creating the projects in the hope that the game gets the support to be printed. The game's already printed. Like, what you're doing is just trying to make the game nicer and fancier. I'm not following you here at all. And I'm going to guess that that's probably the reason why we have 3 hearts, because anybody actually reading this is like, what? What the hell are you talking about? You have supported us time and again, and we hope we're rewarding your support with the best quality war games that are printed, because that is our goal. Okay, cool. That I like. From John Welch, Grant Weil, Mike Winley, Sean Cook, The Art of the Game. Why did... John Welch, I know, is the designer. I don't know who Grant is. I don't know who Mike is. I don't know who Sean is. I don't know who Mark is. I don't know who Ryan is. But why did you take the time to mention Sean in particular doing The Art of the Game? It feels odd. It just feels odd to me. We say thank you. Here's a link to Sean's Art of the Game article on the website. Well, okay. Also, I don't feel like you need to mention he does The Art of the Game if we did. Okay, so yes, The Art of the Game, and you did mention it here. Now, here's cardinal sin number 1 for updates, and it drives me nuts. I see so many people who don't do this. And I get it, because you're not from the YouTube world. In the YouTube world, you learn very early on, you got to engage people. You got to get people commenting, talking, discussing, coming back. And always end with a question. Always, always, always end with a question. Because 3 people like this update. I got a sneaking suspicion. Who wants to bet that at least, let's say, 2 of those 3 people are right there in that group? I mean, so that makes that 3 people look even worse. So this update, your next update needs to be a banger, because this one is not good. So the other thing is, let's look at it from the perspective of what is going to get me to come back to this Kickstarter. Because right now there is no reason for me to come back. If I back this, why do I come back? There's nothing here. It's a wasteland. There's no comments. There's 20 comments. So let's think of how we could change that. So you obviously don't want to do stretch goals. I'm going to guess because the game is already printed, potentially. I don't know. Maybe. So you're not doing stretch goals. You're not doing daily unlocks. You're not doing gameplays. Like, maybe you have a gameplay. Maybe you say, hey, to one of the people who has this game, and you say, hey, would you be interested in doing another gameplay of the first edition? And we will, in fact, spotlight it to our 300 people we have here. And so if you can get a content creator who has this game or is in this niche to play the game on their YouTube, it would be, hey, what's up? Italy. Awesome. It would be amazing, because I think it's going to be, as a content creator, like, yeah, you're going to spotlight this to the 300 people? Totally down. Because as a content creator, I see this as I'm making a game. I'm making a video for a game that's already popular. It's going to get made. It's got 30,000 on here. So it's a win-win for both of you, and it gets people engaged. Maybe you say, what's your strategy? What do you think is going to be your first strategy for when you try to keep up the fire? Maybe that's a question you engage people with. Because if they've already played the first edition, they're here for the second edition, or maybe they really got into the weeds and they watched the videos or something, they might comment here. you get those diehard fans to start commenting, and all of a sudden you've given them a reason to come back. Because here's the thing you know about your 300 people. They are solo gamers. And that's it. I mean, that's really all you know, because I do feel like this is a game that could have not mass market appeal, but appeal to just regular board gamers. Talk more about the rules. Like, if that is the final version of the rules, then there's nothing you can do about it. But if you're updating the rules, get me more involved in that. Thanks, Grant. Will the teaching aids be available in the box, or will it be via download again? FAQ that. FAQ that after you answer it, which 17 hours ago, that's not good. You're at $30,000. This is the Kickstarter. I hate when I see people running Kickstarters and they're just content with well enough. Because I feel like with a few things, a few tweaks, a few changes, you can really just kind of catapult yourself. Like, you could make it a big Kickstarter. And right now, it doesn't feel like you're trying to do that as much. So what I would do, and I recommend this all the time, get someone you trust. Anyone in your bubble that you trust personally. A friend, kids, your wife, your husband, your daughter, whatever, grandma. I swear to you, I'm not even joking here. And say, would you please be a collaborator on my Kickstarter project? I'll sign you up, and you just have to get on there maybe once or twice a day and just answer any comments that I don't have time to get to while I'm at work. And it's the kind of thing you can do in the bathrooms. Because, thanks, Crank. Will the teaching aids be available in the box, or will we be able to download again? If someone is close to you in your life, they could probably get you on Facebook Messenger and say, hey, Grant, what's the answer to this? And then, if you really have someone who's willing to go the extra mile and you give them the control, they could then take this question, pop it in the FAQ, so that if anybody else has that question, they're not going to come here, which means you're not going to get bothered with it. And all of a sudden, you got yourself a good FAQ section. And also, sorry if I missed in the main text, but when is the proposed shipping time frame? July of this year. Oh yeah, I didn't even look at the cost. Everything threw me off so much. Right now, I'm currently on a 1 on this project, by the way. The 0, 1, 2. 2 means back for the whale, they don't have a whale, they just have the game and then more games. But you didn't really tell me why I should be interested in those games, so I'm not interested in those games, wildly enough. So definitely tell me more about those games in your story. Because if they're to the bottom and they want to know more about those games, don't make them go out and research it, right? July of this year. That's a good date. You know, we're looking at potentially Gen Con, if that happens, sort of date. Once again, FAQ. Is that listed over here? Yeah, let's check. That's a great, that is absolutely something that should be listed, and hopefully it's right here. Oh yeah, it is, July. So that's just somebody not reading. That's fine. But maybe you put in the FAQ, maybe you don't with that one. Hi, what is the deluxe portion of the edition versus the original game from 2011? Thanks. We have a much larger mounted game board. The relief column map has been moved to its own. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. This is why you have the picture. The picture answers the question. Also, this is an FAQ one for sure. You rack your brain, you get exactly what everything is. And also, you know, the person that you trust could, if they have the time, take all this answer, put in the FAQ. Make it easier on yourself. Thanks. Oh, that's so great. I pledged for the launch day discount. Can I add a Soviet Dawn later on the PM, or do I need to get a bundle during the campaign? We don't use a pledge manager. Okay, so that's why you don't have his add-ons at the back end. That's fine. I mean, I don't know enough about Pledge Manager and how good it is, because I haven't gone that deep into the weeds on actually running a Kickstarter. So the fact that you're not using Pledge Manager, I understand why it's a little bit wonky. It still could be a little bit less wonky, because here's the thing. If the games are the same price, you could just say, this game, the 2-game bundle, you get one of the other games. The 3-game bundle, where you get all 3 games. And maybe I just feel like your pledges could have been quicker and cleaner. And you can do that in the future, because you've already ran 9 and you ran a whole bunch. But you are on point with answering stuff. Good. 2 copies coming down under. I just received Battle of the Bulge. Great production. Waiting keenly for the Soviet Dawn 2. The shipping rate for 2 works to split the cost. Keep up the excellent work. This right here. Stuart. And this is what I'm talking about. The Stuart's comment right here. You remember that person we talked about? Your grandma, your sister, your brother, whoever? They say, Stuart, thanks so much for taking the ride and the kind words on the game. And we believe that this is absolutely going to blow your pants off as well. The Deluxe Edition. And all of a sudden, maybe Stuart becomes a backer of yours on a very routine basis. And maybe they already are, but maybe it's just... And not to mention, it makes your comment section look better, and it makes you, as a creator, look better because you're more engaged here. Or at least it makes it look like it. Because let's be honest, from someone on the outside, creator versus collaborator, I don't see it different in the comment section. I see good customer service. Just period. The High Frontier. I'd like to ask a question. There's a reason for the only 2-week Kickstarter funding period. Also, I was curious about that as well. As a retiree on a fixed income, I get paid on the first of each month, and this funding period falls in the middle of the month. It seems to me that you could raise more funds by having the funding period cover the first of a given month. Most projects I back around 30 days, so I wondered if there was a reason for the shorter funding time period. And yes, that is actually something where if you do Kickstarter research, it will absolutely agree with that. That you want to do it around the time period. You want to be covering generally pay period to pay period. Like I've read actually a couple things about it. I think Jamie Stegmaier might have done one on this as well. The 14-day campaign works best for our production schedules. So what? Why? Like I'm that makes me lean more towards, hey, pre-order a little bit there. I agree with the High Frontier. Thanks, and number of cards. Missed that. 36 total cards. You shouldn't miss that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is another question. Just get me a picture of the components. Even if they're the old components, say these are going to be the components, they're going to be upgraded, but this is what you're going to be getting. Like, anything like that. It makes it so much easier to swallow the price as well. Because right now, what are we looking at? I think it's like $70. I'm going to go with a 1. But it's a tepid 1. Looks like a great game. Because I know it's going to get made. And it looks like a great game. Looks like a great game. I'm in 2 questions. How many cards in the deck? Once again, easily answered by you having a picture of all the things with a component list. Can we get the first day early bird discount with the Soviet Dawn package? Once again, that's the same thing somebody else answered. Like, FAQ. But then again, I don't know. Well, that's a very specific question because if they were the first... No, it should be the FAQ because maybe you've convinced them that they should go buy that game, and so they just make it easier on your customers. We have factored in a discount with the package prices. Awesome. FAQ. I own the original version of the game. It's a challenging, tense, and fun, great solitaire game, and now with first-class components and boards, to anyone who's not sure about the game, my advice, back it. Yeah, so you just... Here we go. Old school war games. You responded to that person saying it, but not Stuart. Not good on you. I am in. Thanks, Robert. Great. And so, yes, at this point you're responding to everything. That's great. But in the end, I'm going to give this a tepid 1. I feel like it's just, you're trying to appeal too much to your base. And I feel like there's some minor things. There's small things. There's very little things that you could do to potentially just make this a game that would appeal to more people. Now, if that rule booklet is that rule booklet, I would honestly, I would hide it. As bad as it sounds, if that's the rule book, because this thing is just ugly. And this makes me think that this is, yeah. Get on Fiverr. Get on Fiverr. Pay somebody. Pay somebody to make you a better rule book. I think you'd make so much more money. So much more money. Because look at this. Look at this board. I see this board. And as a board gamer, I am excited about this board right here. I see this. I am excited about this. It doesn't look too terribly complex like those other war games. I see cards with historical theme. I love what I'm seeing here. This digs me more into the war game category. Or put some effort. ... I didn't say it. PJ said it, but It's kind of dull. I agree completely. It just doesn't pop. And you have everything you need here. Like this slot right here, opening up the box, then right here, or actually I do it even earlier, just all the components. Every component. Because I don't want to read this. Like this means nothing to me. Let's actually look at it. You didn't even tell me the cards. No! You answered the FAQ question, but then you didn't put it into the story? Come on! Come on! How are you going to do that? How are you going to answer the question in the comments? See, 2 people ask the same question, not put in the FAQ, and not put it in the component list. That is not good. Beautiful box. It could be so much more. 1 die. Like, I literally have no feel for how much is coming in your rule book. Large, hard-mounted board. What is large? Is Ticket to Ride large? Is Monopoly large? Like, what size is the board? Small, harder-mounted strategic map for relief column? What does that even mean? A counter sheet? What is this? Like, this is just... I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1. It's a tepid 1. The more I think about it, it's going closer to a 0. But I'm going to give it a 1. So there we go. That is Keep Up the Fire, the Deluxe Edition. It looks like it might be your cup of tea. Be sure to check out that link down in the comments below. Tell them Byers Game Corner sent you. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. Oh, and if you're enjoying what I'm doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below, as I'm trying to hit 9,000 subscribers to celebrate my 9-year anniversary of making YouTube content. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. And the stream. Bye.